Netflix's latest horror, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, has hit our screens. But are the cast luckier in love than Jessie Buckley's lead character, Cindy? Did she ever get over what Little Women star James Norton did to her? And how did Jesse Plemons land a Hollywood superstar? Let's take a look at what the cast gets up to when the camera is off. Toni Collette. Before we get to the good stuff, let's take a look at Mommy and Daddy Dearest. Everyone knows how awkward it is meeting the in-laws for the first time. No one knows what to say, no one knows how to act, but throw in the fact that they're actual psychos, and it might make everything 10 times worse. Legendary actress Toni Collette plays the part of Jake's mom in this movie. She welcomes Cindy with open arms when the couple comes to visit, and it's a hot mess. Toni is 47 years old, so she's done a little more living than some of the other cast members. It might look like she can handle this Hollywood thing, but it wasn't always easy for Toni. When she was first making it big in her 20s, she couldn't handle all the attention. She had severe anxiety and literally didn't know what to do with herself. She even did a Britney 2007 and shaved her head 5 times before traveling and getting zen. Thankfully, she figured it all out in the end, but before she had a bad relationship or two. In fact, Toni dated Irish actor and her Velvet Goldmine co-star Jonathan Rhys-Meyers for a year in the late 90s. While Jonathan is definitely easy to look at, he's had plenty of addiction issues and been in the press several times for doing stupid stuff when he's been wasted. Toni later described the relationship as a hedonistic, drunken, and probably dangerous mess. Ouch. Let's face it, most of us could say that about our exes. After that relationship broke down, Toni carried on smashing it in Hollywood. She starred in movies like The Sixth Sense, Shaft, and About a Boy in 2002, which was the same year she fell in love for reals. Toni married musician Dave Gallifassi in a sweet Buddhist ceremony in 2003. They've got 2 kids together, so when Toni isn't acting, she has her hands full. She's also a really spiritual person and enjoys meditating. She probably needs it with how much she has going on. We stan a queen that can hold it down at home without sacrificing her career. David Thulis. Don't panic if David Thulis isn't a name that you've ever heard before. He's not exactly a household A-lister, but he should be. The British actor has been killing it in the game since the 90s when he won an award for the movie Naked. Now he's starring in this Netflix flick as Jake's weird dad, but the trailer doesn't give much away. He looks like the kind of character you'd hate to have as a father-in-law though, even if he doesn't really seem to speak all that much. Harry Potter fans will know him best as Remus Lupin in the franchise, but he's also been in a ton of blockbuster hits like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas and Kingdom of Heaven. Let's just say he's a really busy dude. So, does he even manage to date? Amazingly, yes. Apparently, we're the only ones who can't hold down a job and a relationship. Anyway, David first got married back in 1992 to Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen director Sarah Sugarman. It only lasted 2 years. By 2001, David had found love again with the Girlfriend Experience actress Anna Friel. For the next 10 years, these guys were legit inseparable and Hollywood couple goals. They had a daughter in 2005, so it seemed like they were living the dream. But nothing good ever lasts in this business, so of course they broke up in 2010. Anna said that they ended up calling it quits because they didn't spend enough time together and lost the romance. Clearly, you can't keep a good guy down as David got married for a second time, he never put a ring on Anna's finger, to a French actress that no one has ever been able to identify. Maybe Thulis has learned a thing or two and decided to keep this relationship out of the spotlight. These things are easier when the press doesn't get involved, but he can't keep her a secret forever. Jessie Buckley. Okay, we're here. You made it, congratulations. Let's get the tea about Jessie Buckley, the lead actress that plays Cindy in I'm Thinking of Ending Things. If you think you've seen her before, it's probably because you have. The 30-year-old Irish actress has been in a ton of British dramas, from Tom Hardy's Taboo to The Last Post and War and Peace. She also starred in the hit series Chernobyl from HBO, so she's been around, even though she's only really been active in the business for a couple of years. Even though she's still pretty new, Jessie already has one high-profile relationship under her belt. When War and Peace was being filmed, she was dating one of the leading men, James Norton. They looked like they were super into each other and were pictured out together a few times. It wasn't a fling, but a serious 2-year-long relationship. And boy, did it end badly. They never announced the split, so when James Norton was pictured making out with his McMafia co-star Imogen Poots in 2018, their fans were shook. When she was asked about it, Jessie confirmed they weren't together anymore and said it was acrimonious. That means really bad and dramatic to the rest of the world. But she was quick to praise him too. It's a tough job to have a relationship, and he is a great man and we are great friends. That's it. How diplomatic can I sound? Okay, well, that sounded a little salty, didn't it? Some fans think that Norden actually ended up hooking up with Imogen Poots when he was still with Jessie, and that's why they split. It might explain why it was such a bad breakup, but we don't know for sure. James and Imogen are still together and have recently moved in, but Jessie is keeping any new romance under wraps, which is probably for the best. Besides, she's way too busy being a rising star to worry about a silly thing like love. Jessie starred in 4 movies in 2020 alone, so it's not like she's struggling for work. Who needs relationship drama when you're busy making millions? Jessie deserves someone that will treat her like the rose she is, so we don't blame her for holding out. Jesse Plemons. 32-year-old Jesse Plemons could be one of the sweetest guys in Hollywood, which is why seeing him in this super creepy role gives us the shivers. It's also probably why it works so well. Plemons has been around for a while. Some of you may remember him from Friday Night Lights, or as Todd in Breaking Bad. He's never quite made it as an A-list star, but that hasn't kept Jesse down. He's super down to earth, stays away from social media, and really seems like the least famous person ever. The last thing we ever expected was for him to be in a high-profile romance. Yep, he started dating his Fargo co-star Kirsten freaking Dunst in 2016. We all know Kirsten, previously MJ from Spider-Man, Torrance from Bring It On, overall 2000s powerhouse. They're an out-of-the-blue couple that we never expected, but it just works. It works so well that they got engaged in 2017, and Kirsten had their son, Ennis, in 2018. Honestly, we ship it harder than we ship Bring It On, and that's a lot. Jesse lives a pretty low-key life with Kirsten and their kid when he's not filming, but we bet he's a super attentive partner and father. He just has that sweet vibe about him in interviews. Neither Jesse or Kirsten have said that they've gotten married, but back in January at the Golden Globes, Kirsten did call Jesse her husband. Did they do a super low-key thing and just not tell anyone? Given how private they are, it wouldn't be a shocker. Sometimes it's easier to just do it, and that way the press leaves it alone. Jesse has not 1, not 2, but 4 movies in post-production right now, so he probably really appreciates the downtime he gets to spend at home with his little family. What do you think? Is this movie going to be absolutely awesome, or just another Netflix flop that doesn't hit the mark? Will the cast members live happily ever after, or is that impossible in Hollywood? Let us know what you think in the comments.